Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to hike to Mugu Peak here in the Malibu, I guess the western part of the Santa Monica Mountains here in Southern California. Now, this is a really tough hike. Even though it's short, it's less than 3 miles. It's about, I think, at least 1,000 feet in a mile of climbing in the first mile. So right from the gun, you are suffering. But at the top, you get these sweeping views of the Pacific, of the Santa Monica Mountains. It's really incredible and highly recommended if you have not done it already. Now, as always, I have the full guide on HikingGuy.com. If you're not familiar with the channel, there's a website too, so check that out. I'll talk about the maps and the parking. And thank you for all of your support, as always. And if you want to support the channel in an easy way and say thank you for the video, all you have to do is click the little thumbs up on YouTube, and it helps me out a ton, so thank you for that. Anyway, guys, let me show you this hike. It is a gorgeous one and not to be missed. Let's go. All right, so the parking lot is not super easy to find. It's pretty big though, and it is right off the side of the PCT. And you're gonna go basically straight up there. Now, this is called the Chumash Trail. This is actually a trail that's allegedly been here for over 7,000 years. I've heard 9,000. And it's the original native trail that people would use when they brought stuff from the sea up to the villages in La Jolla Canyon. Now, when you go up, there's some small side trails like this, and there are some signposts, some markers. They're a little bit all over the place, but you're basically going to go up, and you can see people up there climbing up. It's a pretty busy trail. And if you get tired, you can always turn around and check it all out. That's the CB's base. I think it was a gunnery range down there in the ocean. But from this shot, you can kind of get an idea of how steep it is. I mean, it's pretty much straight up. You can see it winds a little bit here, but basically we're going straight up the mountain. But again, the views are great. Santa Cruz Island, that's the big Channel Island straight ahead over there. And you can see it's also pretty rocky. We're going to go to that saddle up in front of us there, and then we're going to go up to the right, which is Mugu Peak. But it's not so bad, and kind of about, I don't know, 0.3, 0.4 miles in, you get this little bit of a breather here, and it's relative, right? It's still uphill, but it's not dramatically uphill. And then you can see up ahead there, it gets really steep again, and that's where we're going eventually. So we're going to go up to that little saddle, and then we're going to go up to the right, up to the peak. Now it gets steep once again. It's rocky. The nice thing about it is, although it is steep, there's no real like edges or precipices that you're on. And the views, again, are beautiful. That's the whole reason, you know, you do this hike, you do this gut busting about 1,000 feet in 1 mile going straight up here. Now, when you get to this junction, this is an important one. When we come back, we're going to come back on this trail to the right over here. We're going to do a little lollipop loop. But up here, we're going to go to the left, and we're going to go up to the saddle. When you get up to the saddle, you're going to get nice views of La Jolla Peak in the distance there in La Jolla Valley, and that's the trail we're going up right there. Pretty steep, pretty extreme. I can't imagine doing this in the mud. I've never done this in the mud or the rain. I can imagine it's probably not doable. But anyway, just take your time, and you can see there's little ruts that kind of work as stairs as you hike up here. And the nice thing, as you get up, there's the peak, the summit, the final hill up in the distance. But you can see the Boney Mountains over there, Tri-Peaks, that's where Sandstone Peak is. Then across the valley and Laguna Peak, there's a little radar or satellite tracking station over there. And then Mugu Lagoon down there in the Air Force Base, or sorry, not Air Force, don't kill me, Naval Base. Here's one of the planes from the base. There's always planes and helicopters flying fairly low over here, so it's always cool if that's your thing. And eventually, after about a mile or so, you're going to see the flag in front of you. And here we are at the summits. There's some little summit registers there, and the views from here are incredible. This is one of my best, one of my favorite viewpoints here in Southern California. You can see south down into Malibu, Catalina. You can see San Nicolas Island in a clear day, and then up there, Santa Cruz Island, and then north into Ventura County. Really spectacular. And when we're done, we're going to keep on going straight past the summit. You can see the trail winding down there in front of us. We're not going to go down that steep side and the back. That's pretty nerve-wracking. It's going to be steep eventually when we come back to the original trail, but this part's a little bit nicer, and we get these really sweet views into the Pacific. There you can see the trail down below us, winding down. That's where we're going to be going eventually, in a little lollipop loop down here. Now you keep your eyes open for a trail off to the right. There's some smaller cutoff ones, but you're going to look for a bigger one. It's a little bit easier. We're going to take this bigger trail to the other trail right down here. This is all called the Mugu Peak Trail, I believe. And you can see it unfolding in front of us there. Now from here on out, we're going to have a pretty gradual downhill as we go around the ridge here. The views, again, are incredible all the way until we get originally back to that Chumash trail. But this is my favorite part, aside from the summit, is going around this ridge and just enjoying all of the views. And eventually you're going to come out and you're going to see the trail where we came up. There's a Chumash trail right there. That's what we're going to go down after we finish this little stretch here along the ridge. And eventually you're going to come back to that T-junction where we were before. And then you're going to have a steep downhill that you're going to want trekking poles for. I see all kinds of people on this trail, so if they can do it, you can do it. But this is it. You're just going to go down here the way you came up, and eventually you'll reach the parking lot, and that is the hike. And if you stick around for a second, I'll show you what it looks like on a 3D map. All right, so from this perspective, you can really see how steep it is. We're going to come up here and then do this lollipop loop clockwise and then come back down. So from the parking area, this is the old CB's base over here. This is an unmarked trailhead. I don't know why. This is part of the state park here, but I'm not sure why they don't maintain the trailhead. But you can see how steep it is. This is the little breather here. And then we're going to go up. Here's the last section. And then here's the T-junction. When we get up to the T-junction, we get these great views into, I think it's called La Jolla Valley, La Jolla Peaks over here. And basically the native peoples would fish and hunt down at the beach, and they'd go up this trail, and there were a bunch of settlements in this valley, so very cool. And then when we get up to the saddle, this was that really steep, straight up shot right there. Here's the Boney Peak, Boney Mountains, Tri Peak. That's the Sandstone Peaks in here. That's the highest point in the Santa Monica Mountains. And then, of course, we come up to the summit, and we get the great views, Catalina down there. And then from here, we just go straight over the other side. You can see all the different trails around here. There's all different viewpoints, but we're going to go straight down the other side. Here's the cutoff. We're going to go join the trail back down here. And then we're going to come around over here and wind our way around the ridge. We have all of these undulations. This is the Naval Air Station up here, and there's the lagoon. And eventually we're going to come back to the Lollipop Loop and the Lollipop part of it, and then head right back downhill to the start of the hike right there. And that is it.